And so now we can hear it now.
We're on.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Wasatch High School. This is Sting TV presenting high school boys Region 8 basketball. The Wasatch Wasps hosting the Payson Lions in a big Region 8 matchup already here in the first half of the season. Brent Martindale here with Corey Lang. And Corey, this is a big game tonight. Again, first half of the season still, but still a big game. Both teams with good region records. This Payson team's really good.
Yeah, of all the region, this is the top matchup in the region this week. Maybe even the whole region season. That with Wasatch, Payson sitting on top, Maple Mountain's right there. But I think obviously the winner of this is going to give them the advantage. And when you're coming from a little bit weaker region than compared to the rest of the state, every single win is crucial to get that RPI up to get a good seeding for the postseason.
So as you mentioned, the Region 8, this year seems to be pretty spread out with talent, wouldn't you say? That's a good way to describe it.
It's very equal across the board. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Spanish Forks knocks off Wasatch. It's that even. I feel like watching all the teams in the games that any given night, any team could pull out a win, and it's just who's going to play with consistency and keep their best guys on the floor. And tonight is going to give somebody a big leg up on getting to the top of that leaderboard and trying to hold the top.
As Corey mentioned, Wasatch coming in basically with the most wins. They played more games than most other teams, 4-1. We had a great region start, as Corey mentioned. You have Spanish Fork 0-5, and you mentioned they look 0-5, but they're not a tough. They're always tough. And of course, Payson having a great year. They've had a storied past of great players in the past. Never had a state championship, I don't believe, but they are always tough, and definitely this year they are looking very strong. We are ready for the tip-off, and we are underway. Payson controlling the tip-off, and here we go. Both teams with a 6'7" player on their roster. Wasatch, Cole Magnuson, at least he's listed at 6'7". And for the Payson Lions, Parker Larson, a senior, at 6'7", and he looks 6'7". He looks big.
Yeah. I'm anxious to look at that matchup inside. Where do they go? This is my first chance to see Payson play this year. I've read a lot of their stuff and followed them obviously throughout the season, but this is the first time I've had my eyes on them, and I'm anxious to see.
Wasatch driving, no shots yet for either team. There's the first one, just off the mark for Garrett Windsor, and here comes Payson. Payson with players that did play last season. There's the first basket of the game.
That looks smooth too, very confident. That's a great way to start.
Peyton Swayze, that's one of their seniors. They are loaded with seniors. And as we mentioned, they played last year, had multiple players on the floor that actually played in the games against Wasatch last year. There's Ballstead with his first
with the answer.
First three, and that's a 3-3 tie already here in the first quarter. As we were mentioning, the Payson Lions with several players that were on the team last year, those seniors back. You'd have to think that maybe they are loaded to where they are ready to really make some noise in this Region 8. From previous conversations with Wasatch, not a single player on the Wasatch starting group actually scored a point against Payson last year. I think there is one exception to that. I think Hawk may have scored a bucket, but that shows that these teams are seeing each other really new for the first time.
Yep. And both are playing very well at this point in the season, and this is a good bout. Hawks looking for another deep.
Rebound to Parker Larson. The big scorer for Payson, Larson's averaging 13 points a game, but number 32 Sam Mitchell, one of the state leaders, averaging 22 points a game, a little over 22 points a game. And that bucket again by Larson. He's got 4 of the 7 points that
Other
Payson
than that
has.
1-3, which is a sign, that they want to establish that inside game with him early on and set the tone inside out.
Jackson,
I like teams that do that when they have a big man. Utilize him.
You got to
let him play, and it opens up the outside game so much more when you can get the inside going first.
Jackson Anderson with the bucket for Wasatch there a moment ago. 7-5 early here in the first quarter. Great move. And that will be a travel violation against the Lions. Wasatch will take over. 5:02 early here in the first quarter. 5:02 left in the first quarter. Hawk Ballstead there's getting it down low to Magnuson. When Magnuson got the ball at the free throw line, Anderson did come out to him. That might be something they're trying to do, Corey. 6 points now. 6 points now for Parker Larson.
He's getting to the right spot. He's doing exactly what a coach would ask of him. Big man, run down the middle of the floor, get to the front of the rim, and credit the team for finding him early on those transition. He's winning the position game right now. He's getting to the place that he wants to be.
And you mentioned a loose ball. Basically, that's the first turnover for Wasatch.
Yeah.
Heard some news also earlier today. Colin Hughes had been sick this week and was able to come back to school today and on the court for the Wasps. Wasatch down 5-9. So far, it has been the Parker Larson show for Payson. 6 points. There's a three just off the mark for Wasatch. Magnuson comes up with it. Wasatch will get a chance again.
Different styles here. Payson obviously trying to establish that with Parker inside. The one time Cole got it in the offense, they brought him up to the high post, and he's not even turning his head to the rim. He's looking to pass from that position. So if I'm Payson, I'm paying attention to that. If he's pulling up the high post, I would leave Parker under the rim and cut off, because they're going to send a cutter underneath and try to have him dump it. I wouldn't even guard him until he starts turning and facing the rim at least.
Okay.
But totally different styles here. One obviously trying to establish that inside game with their big. The other utilizing the big to help the cutters come through.
First timeout called of the game. Wasatch calling a full timeout. We'll have about a minute here talking just a little bit about the teams. Once again, mostly juniors on the floor for Wasatch and a lot of seniors on the floor for Payson. Both teams averaging similar points per game this season. Payson just a little bit more, averaging up around 62 points a game, which means they're not afraid to shoot.
Yeah.
And so far, we've already seen several three-point attempts, one attempt made. And they definitely want to push it and shoot, it looks like, if you're averaging at least 62 points a game.
And from what I can tell so far early on, both teams are tooled very similar as personnel. I'd give Payson the advantage inside, but very similar, like to shoot, like to run and put up points.
Magnuson, and that's a big three-point. That's two-pointer, looks like.
That's Jackson again.
Jackson Anderson. His third and fourth point of this game. And there's a attempt stuff there, the pass.
Colin Hughes breaking that one up. I think he was surprised that came right to his face like that, in the right spot.
Looked a little like a volleyball blocker is what he was doing there.
Yeah.
Payson taking the ball out under their own basket. There's Larson with the ball. In the game on Larson now is Dakota Thacker. Magnuson getting a breather.
Yeah, Colin's such a hustle player that, you're okay with those kind of fouls, but they hurt. Every foul hurts, but as a coach, you're okay. It's not going to hurt your team right now, and Colin's the type of guy who will he'll get more of those steals, then he'll get the foul on it. So
the guards in the game for Payson.
yeah, let your big man just go to
Zach
work.
Robbins is a junior.
See, I'd be a little bit more patient if I was Payson there. Like, you got a new guy, Thacker, coming in to guard you. You get the ball into your big in the post. Pause your offense for a second. Let him go to work and see what he can do, and then flash. But
looks like Wasatch will get the ball. I believe that's a second turnover for Payson at this point. Both teams, like you say, being patient, so we won't see many turnovers.
Yeah.
With patience like that. Of the, again, starters for Wasatch, no seniors on the floor at the moment. Correction, Ballstead is a senior. And Magnuson, well, as we mentioned earlier, getting a little rest on the bench. Looks like we may get a push off there.
Hawks seem surprised, but that's the right call.
I don't know if we have that replay that we might be able to see.
You guys have replays going yet?
Payson will get the ball under the Wasatch basket. 2:19 left here in the first quarter. Payson up 9-7.
Our Sting TV crew's working hard behind the scenes here, trying to get all their cameras synced up and get your replays coming to you tonight. So
I'd say that was great defensive pressure there by Dakota Thacker on Larson. And that's a soft beauty shot. Joe Wonder,
great read there. Big man started to come, didn't commit fully, and so he just pulled and shot it.
Joe Wonder, Coach Corey, he's been our six-man award a couple times here this season already. Comes off the bench and gives great energy. I'm not seeing again tonight Brigham Pillow. I'm not sure if I see him on the bench.
I think I saw him in the JV game.
Okay.
He's here. But yeah, the last game he got in pretty quick and got a lot of minutes. A lot of times it's matchups. If you got to go big with the team, if you got to go guards and play outside.
Joe Wonder had that shot blocked. Payson trying to get it down. Could not get it done. Wasatch will take over. Minute 16 left here in the first quarter. Tie score 9-9.
I think both teams are trying to feel out and see where they're going to find the success. Payson found it early on, and I think Wasatch made the adjustments.
Wasatch trying that backdoor play there.
Yeah,
maybe, I don't know, relayed that just a little bit, kind of showed a little too much. Three-point attempt again, this time good.
He's a shooter. Payton.
This time Payton Swayze. He had the free.
You could tell it too, and it's
threes.
just in his face, and then his look as Susie, let's go. What a confident shooter.
We mentioned earlier Sam Mitchell, clearly the leading scorer on this team with 22 points a game.
Watch the Hawks to try to answer again. He likes great defense there by 53 from Payson. Andrew Sorensen just straight up, walled up, made the guy shoot it over, made him change his shot.
Kind of almost looks like he's in for Larson. Not nearly as big, of course, but down to 5 seconds.
There's the inside out there looking. And he's still down. It looks like he hurt his arm on the fall, but I like that. I like the idea. I like that take. When you're down 2.7 seconds, under 10 seconds, under 5, drive to the rim. If you got a layup, take it. If not, then you're hitting those shooters. Kick out is the right thing to do.
I think he'd be shooting if he didn't look like he was passing.
Yeah, if he doesn't leave his feet to make the pass.
Wow, that was the shot they wanted. They had a clear look with their scoring champ.
Yeah, if those shots start falling, Wasatch is going to be in trouble. They got to pay attention to where the shooters are at on the floor. You can't let the outside and the inside game beat you. It's kind of give and take, choose your poison, but.
And that one there could have been devastating.
Yeah.
That was, again, Sam Mitchell that took that shot, missed it. First quarter score, 12-9 for Payson. Looks like we're going to show you a couple replays here. Great job, guys.
Jackson's great sweet pull-up from about the elbow. He's another one of those just rhythm shooters. Can be deadly once they get that feel and that kind of in the zone they talked about. He sees a couple go down, and Jackson has the potential to go off any night. So looks a lot like Peyton Swayze on Payson's side. They're both similar players. And
Wasatch being led in the first quarter with Jackson Anderson 5 points. 4 points on that.
So Payson coming in as a road team, that's a huge victory already.
The first quarter.
Yeah, to get a good start, get a good first quarter, because you anticipate that you're going to warm up and get better on the floor and adjust to the gym and whatever. But check that one on the coach's box for the visiting team right now. He's got to be happy.
And we mentioned earlier, Brigham Pillow has checked into the game here at the beginning of the second quarter.
They're bringing Cole up to the high post. There he's at least looking through the rim for that cutter, but he's not looking for a shot. I would step back a hair if I'm his defender and just clog up the key on those.
Parker Larson, the 6'7".
See, that's what you want to take away is the cutter coming off.
Great offensive rebound there. Brigham Pillow almost thrown away, but great hustle on both sides.
To Joe on the skip. Is read very well there and just tipped away. It's a dangerous one because if the defense gets that tip clean, there's no defense to stop you. It's a pick six in football, right? Ooh, good ball movement. Even off the back of the defender.
3-point attempt just off the mark.
Cole, great board, Cole.
Big rebound.
Great board, big man. He's looking back up, gets the call. That's exactly what you're looking for out of Cole Magnuson. That's his strength. And
Cole Magnuson taking his first free throws of the game. Again, we mentioned Larson. He's checking back into the game. Andrew Sorensen played his role at about 7 inches shorter and did well. Cole misses both. Payson remains up 12-9.
So as a coach, you're making a mental note of that too, A shooter who's missed both his free throws early, if it comes down later in the game at a tight situation, you want to keep track of that kind of stuff. And
Drayton Haney with a great drive there. Left his defender rather quickly. Made the bucket. 14-9 is the lead now for Payson.
Yeah, Wasatch looks a little out of sync right now on offense. Payson's doing a really good job of taking away the passing lanes and splitting it just enough that they're in front of the defender, but they're baiting that pass. As you saw there, they tried to knock it into Cole again in the high post, but man, that defense, the weak side came over so quick. If the foul hadn't been called, I think that's a steal going the other way.
Ballstead and Windsor check back into the game for Wasatch. Colin Hughes been rather quiet so far. I would imagine blocked that time by by Robbins, but probably got fouled.
Little body on it. But Colin, that's the leadership that he brings too. When your team needs a bucket, Hawks a lot of the same way. You get the seniors that, you got to stop the bleeding. I'm just going to muscle this down there and get a bucket or a call at least and get to the line.
First point of the game there for Colin Hughes. That free throw. 14-10. Wasatch desperately wants to keep this close here in this second quarter. And the second free throw brings them within 3. A very quiet first half. Big rebound.
Yeah, keeping that alive. That is 100% Larson giving your team another chance. So far, 14 points. Only 2 guys have scored 12 of those 14. So if you could take away the outside shot and try to double and monster down on the big,
and
you've
no
got a chance
points,
to answer.
none by their scoring leader.
Yeah.
I would imagine, again, like you, Corey, not having seen them,
There's the length.
I would imagine Mitchell gets his points probably from teams trying to defend Larson.
Yeah.
Like you were saying.
Your inside will open up your outside so much better. Great job by Colin there. And that's what he brings. I mean, how many times have we seen that this season? Beats the guy to the position, anticipates, and gets the call.
Peyton Swayze called with the offensive foul. Did not like the call. And neither did the coaches. Payson, coached by Anthony Mitchell, talking to the ref right now. I recognize that ref. He's been around. He did college games 15 years ago when I was at CEU. And he looks just the same.
Yeah.
Wasatch driving, gets it down low to Magnuson. Big bucket. Great drive there by Anderson.
And that's what I'd like to see him do with Cole more. Get him into that position where he's a threat as soon as he touches it.
Payson coming down quickly. Launched another 3 and missed. And I'm with you, Corey. If they start making those, this game's going to change quickly. Here's first bucket of the game for Sam Mitchell, senior.
Yeah, and that's just the speed and anticipating getting that off the races, beating them back.
You would have to think if they're going to come near their average, they're definitely going to be scoring more points.
Dude, look how they anticipate those passing lanes. Like they give you just enough and then get a hand on almost every pass. The Wasatch has got to be crisper or hard cut off of those to the hoop and find it, make them pay a little bit for coming out tight on the passing lanes. But so far,
looks like a man defense, right, Corey?
There's the cut, the back cut that I'm talking about. If they're going to come up and play those passing lanes so tight, you've got a back cut.
Fabulous play there. Windsor with the bucket. Pass was by, I believe that was Hughes. Do you have that replay?
I think so.
There's another 3-point attempt. Payson in and out. Offensive board.
Another big board. Oh, he had Colin deep too if he could have got that pass off clean. Oh, good inside out game.
Another 3-point attempt, no good. Magnuson fights for the rebound. It looks like it's going to go to Wasatch.
After a little ping pong there, it's going to stay with Wasatch.
I'm thinking right now, Corey, I don't have the official stats, but Payson's probably 2 for 12, if not more attempts at that 3-point. Would you think that's about right?
I would guess. Yeah, 2-10, 2-12.
And they're not afraid to shoot him.
And Peyton hitting those 2 out of it.
Wasatch.
If those start going down, yeah, you can see them hitting their average pretty quick.
Wasatch definitely being very patient, trying to play a little bit off that top pick you were mentioning. There's a 3-point attempt. Magnuson with another offensive board.
They just got to be careful. Yeah, you got to be more careful with the ball on your passes. They're
very athletic, fast break there. That's Mitchell to Swayze. That looked very Jazz-like.
I love their style of play. Inside, but take the 3 when you want it, and just quick tempo run first. You know,
give and go there. Magnuson with a bucket. Big play. Colin Hughes, little drive and dish, give and go. 17-18, another 3-point attempt off the mark for Payson, and Wasatch comes back with it. Timeout.
Maybe that's what they count on, you know, take the 3. Let the big man Larson get a rebound if it's a miss, or tap it out and get another one, but if it goes in, bonus.
You know, here this timeout, and it's just a quick 30-second timeout. Corey, what's a good team average, like a percentage for 3 points?
In high school, if you're shooting 35% as a team, even as a player, that's pretty good. The further you get upwards of that, you're turning into a great shooter. You know, 40. If you're 50%, you're
for the high school especially.
Yeah, you're amazing. Okay. You know, every other 3's going in. And I've seen a few of those shooters, not many over the years. Most are right around that 30 to 35%. Are a good, solid shooter.
Wasatch probably only has one 3-pointer also, but not even half as many attempts.
Yeah, and that was Hawk taking that one early on with the match, but
I would think at the moment Payson probably at a 10% success rate with the 3, which again, like you said, if that changes.
When it's a possession game too, they're just getting more looks because they're getting the steals and turnovers. They're getting more shots than Wasatch is, and so just statistically, you would think it would be more than a 1-point game.
Big play there, another basket, big. Playing a big man, Windsor, listed at 6'4". I think that's gratuitous also.
And a very quick answer, and I think that's kind of what Wasatch is trying to do, is pull the big man out and then go a guard like Garrett Windsor or somebody inside to if Cole can come out and bring Larson out.
Wow, big bucket there. Jackson Anderson getting
over the big
guy
man.
Larson off his feet and timed it just right. A little fade away, but there's another 3-point attempt, this time off the mark. And like you said, Larson in there almost got the rebound again. Wasatch with their first lead of the game on that last bucket by Windsor. That time, a carry call. They called that on Jackson Anderson.
Another one of those turnovers. That's another possession, another shot or two that Payson's going to get. If you're playing hockey or soccer, it's a shots on goal, that kind of thing.
There's a great replay there. I believe
Garrett
that
Windsor.
was Windsor. Okay.
Yeah. With his little turn step in the paint. I like to see that.
So we have a timeout in the action here. 21-20, Wasatch enjoying their first lead of this game with 2 minutes left in the first half. Most definitely, Corey, up till now, the name of the game. Oh, there's another. That's the one basket, I believe, by Mitchell, their scoring leader, averaging 22 points a game.
Yeah, that came out of defense, not the offense.
Yes, another turnover, like you said.
Yep.
And I would say the difference in the game right now, shooting percentage, right? Wasatch shooting better.
Yeah, this second quarter, they're not getting as many shots, but the shots they are good shots, good looks at the rim, and so the percentage is higher, and the score shows that.
Would you think other teams score this much in the paint against Larson that Wasatch doing right now? Maybe.
Yeah. They've gone a little bit of zone of the 2-3 where they give a 2-3 look where he sits under the rim and he pulls up to take away the guards or the drives. And so depending on it, so much of it is matchups and the team that you have. If you've got 5 shooters, obviously you're not going to get the points in the paint. And what they do to combat that. Some people just go away from that pressure, that threat of Larson in the paint. But
wide open 3.
Wasatch is
taken by
kind of challenging him with
Vise. Yeah, it's almost like they just let him. And
see, this is that. It shows like a 2-3 when he sits under the rim like that.
3-point attempt by Wasatch just
and then they're
off
just
the mark. And here
staying on the guards outside.
Payson just almost looks like they have a shot clock. They're trying to. There's a big play in the middle.
Mental lapse on defense, but offensively, Payson, that is sharp.
That's Zach Robbins. Robbins' first bucket of the game.
And that puts them up by 1.
Already lead changes here in this first half.
See how he looks. He's looking for the handoff on it. And that's where I would step back and.
3-point attempt. Good.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Once he gets rolling, he's got
Jackson Anderson. Anderson leading Wasatch with 9 points here in the first half.
Leading all scores, I believe. I think the next is 8 points by Payton.
Payton Swayze, there's a big offensive board by Larson, and he puts it in.
He's earning his, isn't he?
That ties the game at 24.
Here's that 3. Deep ball look. Watch out, Payson, if he starts hitting those and taking them. But it's been a long time since Hawk has shot, which is not like him.
I would think you'd have
As I say that.
Yeah. There he goes.
And I think I credit the defense on that because they're coming out and putting pressure, tight pressure, far. And so if he's going to get it, he's going to have to drive to the rim like that.
Ballstead will shoot 2. Parker Larson, the big guy, 6'7", charged with only his first foul. Ballstead just a little short with that free throw. 24-24. Whoever ends up with the ball here next will have 14.4 seconds left in the first half to score. Ballstead sinks the second. That's the 5th lead change now here in the second quarter already.
There's space in the floor.
7 seconds. And Payson throws it away.
Yeah, that's where he was anticipating where his player was going to be. Just got held up. I didn't get to see why, but
4.5 seconds.
They were looking for that shot coming off the screen on the wing.
Sam Mitchell for the Lions.
The referee giving a bench of Wasatch. Sorry there, Brent. I was just watching the ref warn the Wasatch bench to stay down and off the court. Nothing official. But
that's not the first time that's happened this
no.
season, is it? And it's halftime. Wasatch will take a 25-24 lead into the locker room. And only leading basically with less than 2 minutes for the first time here in the first half.
Yeah. Payson's got looks at the rim and just went a little cold there in the second quarter. And I think that's the difference because both teams are just going toe-to-toe. But
I'm
a little surprised by the point output, going in.
Yeah, for sure. We're seeing a nice shot, soft shot there for Wasatch. Here in a minute, we're going to let you listen to the cheer and drill. Thank you for joining us here on Sting TV. Corey Lang, the director of the TV department here at Wasatch High School, and the guys all over, guys and girls on the cameras. We have 6 cameras tonight. Is that what we're saying? Fabulous coverage. 4 cameras. All right. So we're going to go ahead and let you listen to Wasatch Drill.
They are under the direction of the college staff. Wasatch High School
And welcome back, everybody, to Sting TV. Thanks for joining us here. Wasatch High School boys basketball hosting the Payson Lions, up 25-24 as we start the second half with Corey Lang here. Corey, what do both teams want to do here at the beginning of this second half?
Wasatch wants to just continue what they started to build in the second. Be consistent with those, deliberate. They started going inside, whether it was throwing it in or driving in, and they were having success with it and getting better shot selection out of that. Payson maybe work on the opposite, right? Getting better shot selection. They established inside very early and they had success with it, and then they just started launching, and they're missing a lot, as we talked about. So like that, right there, you want to see the ball go in, cut off of it, get to the rim, get some better shot selection out of it. So both teams, I think, the same goal. One wants to keep it, one wants to get it.
Both want to make a shot here and there, right?
Yep. Defensively, I think they're both doing a decent job. Wasatch wants to, limit the turnovers. They've turned it over way too many times. But Payson says, "Oh, great! He should have gone up."
Yeah, he was more open than he thought he would be. That's Parker Larson starting the second half like he did the first half.
But they're doing exactly what I would want to do: go to the rim and attack Wasatch. Get the ball through the rim. Stop taking the outside. Get a few of these, and then those outside shots will fall. And they're doing just awesome team defense. Great team defense and taking away those lanes, just getting a hand on every ball.
Peyton Swayze there with the steal, and he got fouled. I guess he got fouled.
Do we have a replay of that? It looked like
maybe a little contact.
Like he was trying to save the ball and went off balance, throwing it back, and so he didn't get to catch himself. But they gave a foul on Colin. I don't think Colin touched him.
Yeah, it looked like they were a distance apart. Maybe there was a little bump before.
Not 6 feet.
The distance. Peyton Swayze's going to come out of the game. He's going to, and he is.
That's
course,
not good for Payson.
Scorer.
You want your shooter in the game. Hawk with the tough, tight defense there.
The big story for Payson right now. Payson with one of the state's top scorers in Sam Mitchell, averaging 22 points a game, only 2 points in the first half. And there's an easy bucket by
That
Parker
was just
Larson.
Beautiful footwork by the big man. I love watching the inside game when they go to work and use their feet to create the bucket like that. That was gorgeous.
Parker Larson leading all scorers now with 12 points. And had 8 in the first half and already 4 here in just the first minute and a half of this third quarter. 3-point attempt by
Garrett Windsor there.
Windsor off the mark.
He's a lot like Jackson Anderson and Joe Warner. Great shooters, have the potential to go off anytime. So Garrett's looking to get his rhythm.
There's Wasatch with some fast break action and a bucket.
Windsor
with the big pass. I believe that was Ballstead. Was it that threw the quarterback?
Might have been Jackson, might have been Ballstead. I'm not sure which one that was, but good eyes and way to run up the floor. We didn't see that a lot from Wasatch in the first half.
Yeah, very little running down the court, but there's a three-point attempt. Oh, and that's Mitchell.
There you go.
His first three-pointer of the game. Had several attempts in the first half. And if those start to fall, Payson will start getting points quickly. There's a big bucket by Ballstead. 31-29. Mitchell coming out firing.
Felt good on that first one. He's like, little heat check. Let's see how that is.
Well, you wonder, obviously, Coach Mitchell giving him the green light, obviously.
Yeah.
There's a drive.
Cole trying to create, just couldn't get the rhythm down on you. Jackson getting a hand on that ball.
Hughes hoping for that foul call.
Let's see if they double down on him. It looks like there's the double and the kick out to an open three.
That's Parker Buys.
If they don't double down to monster down on the big like that, you're going to let your big man go to work. And if they do, find your 2 shooters on that side.
First bucket of the night for Buys. One of the starters. And there's another bucket for Windsor. answers. Payson wanting to distance themselves from Wasatch at this point, but Wasatch not letting him. Answering. Here's the replay. That's Windsor. Beautiful little, he's the lefty.
From the wing.
Great teed up shot. 34-31 is the Payson lead, and
there's the inside kick out and a quick change. Find the open man.
that's the three-pointer by Buys. Yep. Buys had a couple of attempts in the first half, and that, as we
I don't know if any of them were as open as that one. Just a great look. That Payson got to the right spots, spaced it, one in the window, one in the corner, throw it in your big man. He went to work last time and had a nice step around Cole and put it in. And so now Wasatch is trying to double down and force him out of the ball out of his hands. And like I said, pick your poison sometimes on what you want to get beat by. But
well, and we mentioned the other day, sometimes teams live and die by the three-pointer. Obviously, it looks like and it
could be that way tonight. Yes. I mean, they missed them in the second, and they were down. They start hitting them, but this is what you got to do: establish even every outside shot from the inside.
Another three-pointer.
Another three coming from the inside out. That was Spencer.
After having shot in the first half, probably 10% from the three-point line.
Ooh, Garrett with the answer.
Windsor with another. Both teams much more on fire here in the second half. Shots going up very quickly.
This is kind of more what I expected, right? The rare turnover by Payson. An unforced error, too. Those are...
yeah, not many turnovers by Payson tonight. Teams being able to shoot a little bit more after shooting probably 10% in the first half. Payson already easily shooting 50 or 60% here in the, if not more, here in this third quarter.
There's the inside out for Wasatch. But what I didn't like about the difference is they threw it into Cole and nobody moved.
Okay.
They need to pause and wait, see what the defense is going to give you instead of just kicking it right back out.
Wasatch will take the ball out under their own basket.
There's Garrett's looking the three.
Down 34-37.
Throw it in and see if they double down. If they don't, let Cole go to work. If they do, then you're going to find it. But Cole was so quick to kick it out.
Cole coming up and setting the pick up high. And now they're bringing it back down. So
Cole's looking a little gassed right now. He's got to run up and down, in and out.
There's Hughes.
And that's the difference where they're bringing him out and trying to let somebody else establish inside with the big defender out of the key.
Magnuson getting the ball at the top of the key, like you mentioned, and looking immediately and saw the darting Hughes. Hughes went up, had the shot blocked, but also fouled. So he'll shoot two. Sinks the first. And as you mentioned, Coach, Magnuson's going to get a breather.
Yeah, he was looking a little gassed.
Thacker came in. I thought did a really good job.
He did. He did awesome.
He wanted to do.
I didn't feel like he was a liability on the floor at all. Defensively, did his job.
Absolutely. Thacker.
You got enough scorers on the floor. Let Thacker, defend and be in the paint. Here's some pressure from Wasatch.
Yeah, full court pressure. Thacker, not quite as tall.
Quick hands of Colin. That was a great look away fake feed. But I'll tell you, the cat reflexes there by Colin Hughes.
Colin Hughes. We got that one for the replay booth.
That was quick hands.
It was actually a great drive by Payson.
Yeah, it was.
And I believe that is Sam Mitchell starting to warm up.
It looked very good on that one, I'll tell you.
Already 6 points here in the third quarter. Still 2:45 left. And Mitchell finding the range.
And a 4-point game.
Payson up 40-36. Wasatch keeping it close.
They're bringing Thacker up to that high post, try to clear out the key. But another turnover by Wasatch. And I would say that's an unforced
traveling violation charged to Zach Robbins. Not happy about that call. Wasatch will get the ball with 2:20 left. Again, coming down very patiently. earlier, Wasatch showing the full court pressure on the defensive end after scoring. There's Anderson taking the shot. Thought he had his man off his feet, but blocked shot. I believe that was Larson came in and blocked that, right?
Yes, Parker came over. If Jackson could have seen Thacker on the other side of the rim, he was wide open because Parker left him to come and help. And that's what you've got to try to find if you're going to attack the paint onto your big man. And he's coming to help. You've got to find that.
Thacker getting the jump call.
Wow.
On the big guy, Larson. Not many people happy on the Payson side of the floor.
That's what I'm talking about. Thacker's doing an awesome job of coming in and doing his role,
That is
not making it easy
play.
on the big man.
Making up for
the
turnover just a moment ago. There's another three-point attempt by Anderson. And it's just off the mark. Here comes Payson. And they are out there on Mitchell a lot more, aren't they?
Yes.
Out at that three-point. They're not. There's another three-point attempt. Mitchell just off the mark. And Payson
looks like he's getting a little more comfortable on those shots, too, every one of them. So
Peyton Swayze back in the game.
I think they might have got away with a foul there by Thacker, but, the ref was right there. That's one of those ones we talk about. You look back and maybe let's see the replay. I don't know.
Sounds
typically, if a player, a defender like that swats or takes the motion of the arm, it's almost always an automatic. So that's why I'm kind of surprised by that call. I don't know from the replay even. It could have been clean. The ref was right there. I trust him on this. So
three-point attempt, good. That's Zach Robbins. Payson now with 4 or 5 different players with three-point attempts and makes.
They look confident. Like you can tell Wasatch is throwing some punches at them. They're going.
Three-point attempt by Anderson. It's good. Wasatch definitely needs to keep answering, don't they?
Yeah, get the ball in Jackson's hand. He's shooting well tonight. So let him see his shots. Get him some looks. Yep, there's another. Those are frustrating as a coach.
That's a travel violation charged to Peyton Swayze. Swayze not happy. He's gotten banged up a couple times.
Yeah.
Been on the floor several times. Fantastic hustler.
Especially as a senior, you can't have travel turnovers that far from anywhere, really. By your senior year, junior year, really, you should have those things ironed out. But
50
he
seconds.
seemed surprised at the call.
There's a pass down low to Anderson.
Yeah, there's a guard post-up look that Wasatch is trying to do. And again, the quick hands and the quick team D by Payson.
Wonder shot, no good. Payson looks like they're going to take it down. Let maybe one shot in the last 30 seconds.
I would. Absolutely. You got a lead going into the fourth. You want a one possession, one good look. Don't give Wasatch a chance of getting any momentum going into the fourth.
Payson has had 2 turnovers out of their last 3 possessions.
Wasatch here, you don't want to foul, although both teams only have 1 foul in that whole quarter.
Player down. Payson's going to throw it underneath to Larson, and he's going to get fouled. That won't be a shot.
No, so it's actually a good foul, smart foul. It's not on a shot. They're going to take it back. You can let your defense get set back where you want. In fact, if you've got players with fouls to give, like right now wouldn't be a bad time to use it.
4.3 seconds. They get the ball.
Don't give a guy an open look or a
2-1. There's a 2-point attempt by Larson. No good. And the Payson will take a 43-39 lead into the fourth quarter. And Coach Corey, what's the story of that third quarter?
Here's some inside-out game there by, again, the shots they're hitting from the outside are coming first from the inside, from the paint out.
That was Robbins. Robbins has a couple of three-pointers tonight.
And I think that's part of it. Some of those shots are going down, but I think they're better looks, more open looks, because they're getting the ball in and out on those shots. Their defense is like that. Just quick hands by Payson on defense. Looks to have Wasatch a little bit hurried on some of their shots. Great shooters, they have great form, but they're not as comfortable a shot because they're worried about that guy comes from behind or a hand coming. They look a little bit rushed. And I think those are resulting in more missed shots by Wasatch that quarter. So
Jackson Anderson leading the Wasps with 12 points. Ballstead started early with a 3 right at the beginning of the game, and at this point has 6 points. So has only scored once or twice since then. And here we go, the beginning of the fourth quarter. And both teams.
See if any teams make any adjustments or changes in the fourth here. This
right now,
defensively, I anticipate something a little different.
Right now, I see Brigham Pello into the game.
See how he's patient and waits to see what the defense is going to do. He holds the ball. He's looking with the intent to go to the rim. It looks like, but he's waiting to see what the defense is going to do. Are they bringing a trap? Are they bringing pressure? Where is it coming from? Very patient, good big man skills. You can tell he's worked a lot on his game and been well coached.
Parker Larson shooting 2. That foul charge to Colin Hughes. That's a sweet shot for the big guy right there.
Yep. So if you're Wasatch here too, you're keeping mental notes. It's a 5-point game in the fourth. Who is the guy that, if it comes to that situation of fouling in the end, that you want to put at the line? Right now, I'd say not Parker.
Yes.
Both of those look very good.
Beautiful shots. The lead is 45-39.
Here they're bringing up that high post to double rub off.
Colin Hughes still
looking
in the
for
game.
cutters.
Colin Hughes, that last foul was his 3rd, so he's in the game with 3 fouls. He he drives there, gets the foul called, and he'll be at the line.
A couple quick whistles, foul calls in the fourth. I swear, sometimes the refs look at the foul count, like, oh, that's not my average. I got to get my average.
Well, both teams nowhere near even the bonus.
No. So I look for that to change.
I believe in the third quarter, both teams only had 1 foul each.
1 apiece. Which can come back to bite you if you're playing from down and you need to start fouling.
Right.
That can bite you, but not that you're out there looking to foul. But
Hughes knocks both of them down to bring Wasatch back within 4. Wasatch will not go away.
I look more for that from Colin and Hawk here in the fourth. Trying to get some buckets.
And that's going to be Colin Hughes' 4th foul.
Man, see,
that looks very ticky-tacky.
Yeah, looks very clean that we've seen from both sides the whole game. Fourth quarter, the refs decided to tighten it up. And so as a coach, you want to let your teams know, hey,
they're calling
the
it tighter.
game has changed. Now you got to adjust to that part of the game.
Hughes comes out of the game.
But likewise, I'm telling them, be aggressive. Because they're calling it tighter, I want everything going at the rim and get a call.
Jackson Anderson comes back in after taking a breather.
Little trouble getting it in.
Almost got a 5 count there. There's Swayze. Dishes it off.
Ooh, had a
beautiful
great
drive.
look away, yeah.
And gets the bucket. That is.
See, and he hit a couple threes early.
Drayton Haney.
Maybe it was, wasn't him. But I was thinking it was Swayze.
The Robbins and Haney look very much alike.
See, Hawk being aggressive, trying to take it to the rim, get that. And that's what I'm looking for out of Colin and Hawk this quarter. They're going to be a little bit more aggressive on offense, trying to create and cut this lead. But for both coaches, that's what I'm telling my guys. The refs are calling it tight now. Attack. Be the aggressor, get the call.
This will be Robbins checking back into the game. For Payson coming in for Haney. On the floor right now for Wasatch. It's Ballstead, Anderson, Magnuson, Windsor,
and Wonder. Wonder getting some big minutes in the fourth.
6:39 left in the game. Wasatch down by 6. Desperately needing a score and a stop here. There's Anderson. Great drive.
See, that's another one, man. Like, I don't think he even moved his arms towards him. In the first half, that wouldn't have been called. Here in the fourth, you're getting the benefit of being, aggressive and taking to the rim.
According to the scoreboard, that says that's the 4th foul for Larson.
Yeah. That's huge.
That's correct. That
If he
will
stays
mean,
in,
and
which
he is, he's
I
coming
assume,
out of
yeah.
the game.
I would go right at him as soon as he comes back in if I'm Wasatch.
And Anderson really did a great job there of going at him.
Yes.
And Larson didn't complain. He looked like he thought he might have fouled him.
There was some body there.
Sorensen for Payson comes in to fill in for Larson. No other subs for Wasatch at this point. And we'll have a jump ball. This possession will go to Wasatch. Both teams not afraid to get down on the floor.
They're very similar. Pretty.
Wasatch will take the ball out. 6:19 left. Down 5 now. No full court pressure ever.
Nope.
Payson doing this game.
Pretty
Although
content
they've been
of sitting back and waiting.
Most of the time.
And when you're ahead, it's a little bit easier to do that, right? You don't have to take those risks and chances out.
Magnuson with the ball up top. Nobody guarding him, of course. And it looks like we are going to get a foul charge to Ballstead.
Yeah, that's just an unfortunate, one of those wrong place, wrong time kind of fouls that you're happy if you're Payson. You're really frustrated if you're Hawk.
Payson takes over, up 5. Looking a little more patient.
Looking for the screen on top. Doesn't use it.
3-point attempt, in and out. And the ball will go off of Magnuson barely and made Payson.
Yeah, Magnuson was there, had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in.
Robin's not afraid to shoot. He's a junior for Payson. Once again, big story. Sam Mitchell, one of the top scorers in the state. There's a beautiful shot.
Yep.
And
what a well-designed and executed inbound play.
You almost think that no one expected Sorensen to maybe
actually up. Let's see a replay on that.
Where that was a soft kiss.
Gets a little floater off and the contact after by Garrett, but he screened up. The two screeners went to the 2 blocks, and then when he flashed back the ball, it was wide open because they both took the 2 cutters.
3-point play makes the lead the largest of the night now for Payson, 8. They're up 50-42, 5:30 left in this game. There's a lot of game left here. Big 3-pointer, Hawk Ballstead. Just what the Wasatch was.
Oh, you got him a little. Yeah, that's where you want to bring your pressure when the guy's a little flustered now. They didn't bring it quick enough to get him. They let him recover and get back. And
Swayze driving past everyone.
Let's see if Hawk tries to answer again. The pressure, too much for Jackson.
Buys with the steal, and there's Sorensen again. Big 3-point attempt. Good.
Quick to shoot. Not trying to use the clock at all.
Swayze with
They just want to put the dagger in.
And a smart timeout at this point by Ballstead.
You want to kill some momentum here.
That 3-point was made. That was Swayze.
So, and again, that's attacking the rim. They're getting something out of that. They didn't get a foul out of it, Payson. But you got your shooters in place, trailing well. Well-coached team, you can tell. They come down, get in the spots instead of standing and watching a fast transition game. And when it closed down, the defense pinched on it, kick it out to your window, and wide open, good look. And without hesitation, knocking that 3 down. Huge shot at this point in the game.
Swayze with 11 points for Payson. And the lead is the largest of the night now at 10.
Here's Jackson. His little step back 3. Both teams can shoot. They've shown it. It's from what I've seen, Payson has done when we talked about coming out at the half. Payson's got to establish inside out to get those 3 shots, you know. I think they have done that, and they've done that very, very well.
They seem to have done it that way, and then occasionally fast break. It's like it's almost like they're not wanting to do the layup. They want to drive in, kick it out.
When it collapses, kick. And there's another look. Wasatch, on the other hand, we wanted to be consistent with it. Their shots are now more contested, hurried, and they're missing more because of it.
Wasatch will take over.
And I think some of this
45
is they're feeling the game pressure. as the clock ticks down, the game pressure adds a huge factor in every shot you take. Great double
Jackson
high
Anderson, beautiful drive off of 2 different screens. And
there's your double pick, high.
47-55.
Not sure how they're going to defend. They let him go by. Is that another foul on Collin?
I believe I'm betting they call it on Wonder. If it's...
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like it's Wonder.
Wonder's
if you're
job
Wonder
looks
here,
like...
you're raising your hand. You're like, that was me.
Yes. Peyton Swayze. All over the court, all over the floor. Has been on the floor, helped up by his teammates a dozen times.
Yeah. He's one that helped them come out and have that great start in the first quarter.
Sorensen comes out of the game. Big, big entry there by Sorensen for Payson. 5 points. And he's down on the floor again.
So we don't have student body in the gym yet, but you can see some of the GV players under the hoop cheering their team on.
Jackson Anderson driving again.
Jackson looking. Got to look.
3-point attempt, Alstead.
I am surprised they left him. That's one of the big shooters on the team. Gets an open look, and Hawk is making him pay for it.
Pressure by the Wasp. There's a double
trap.
team.
Now don't reach, don't foul, don't bail him out.
And the timeout called quickly.
Smart timeout. Your guy picks up the ball. He's in trouble. 70 feet from the hoop. You got a few timeouts to burn. Use them. What now? Don't let Wasatch try to cut in. Wasatch, on the other hand, hit those shots and keep this pressure. If you keep the ball on this side, they're getting the turnovers. It's when Payson gets into the half court or a quick transition. So, and teams can get into transition when you miss the shot. So it's important to hit the shot first. Get a good look, make your bucket, and then you can get into that full court pressure.
What's Wasatch need to do for this last 4 minutes of the game to win this game?
Man, you hate to foul. You don't want to foul and put them at the line. So you want to limit. You want to put the pressure like this that they are. You're going to get them down here on this end of the court again. So you want to make them make that turnover, and get good looks. Spread the floor a little bit. Make the defense work. A lot of times they've been getting jumped or jumbled together a little bit too close on offense.
Here's full court
the
pressure again.
You want.
Double team.
Now just contest. Make them.
Swayze doing a real nice job of getting past all the defenders. There's a kick out.
The whole way down, he's looking at his shooters on the up. He knew.
Payson not shooting. Those 2 open threes there. They're not.
Ooh, good anticipation by Hawk for being there.
Hawk Ballstead is going to be charged with the foul, and if he's not careful.
Yeah, it could turn into more.
Sam Mitchell wasn't shooting, but now Wasatch in the bonus.
I mean, he definitely surprised Mitchell there. Mitchell had no idea he was there. And Hawk, just great anticipation. Tried to hope that he turn and bring the ball right into him and get a jump out of it, but the refs quick on the whistle this fourth quarter.
Sam Mitchell
pushing that lead.
Sinks both. Maybe he's not hitting his average, but he still has 9 and has greatly 10, has greatly contributed. There's Anderson again.
And that's what you're looking for. Spread the floor so it's harder to defend for Payson. And then by doing that, it opened up the lane wide open for him to take it.
Huge
If it's
drive.
there, take it.
Jackson Anderson getting the foul and the bucket. He will shoot to complete the 3-point play.
It was perfect.
Right now, the Wasps staying close. The lead is 7.
Jackson is.
The free throw will make it 6, and it does. Payson just shaking their heads right now, thinking we should be up 15.
Yeah.
And
they've done everything that they need to have that. But Wasatch is going to fight, and they're showing they've got the players to do it. They just need a couple of breaks to go their way, like 2 possessions, and they're right there with it.
Payson about to hit their team season average here.
A couple of stops is what Wasatch is looking for.
And they get the ball into Buys. Buys going to drive and score.
I mean, you don't want that. Let a guy just drive to the rim, but man, it works out for Wasatch in that.
Wasatch will pull it back. make even
Okay,
numbers.
be deliberate. Spread the floor. Let everybody get set.
Ballstead with the three. Big three-pointer.
And that's what we're talking. Score, a stop, and a score, and now you've doubled that possession and a three on.
There's the kick out. Mitchell for a three-pointer. No good. Big offensive board by the big man, Parker.
And continue to
Larson.
look for Hawk and Collin when he comes in the game to continue that. They're going to will their team in.
I'm not sure who they're going to call that one on.
Looks on Mitchell.
But somebody's going to get called over the back.
This is just creating all in Hawk. That is all on Hawk, just creating a shot, bringing the left wing, pulling and shooting.
That's Robbins was given the foul, not Larson.
So they bring in, looks like our starters are back in. Magnuson, Hawk, Hughes.
Wasatch has gotten this game back within three.
So this is a big possession.
6'7" Parker Larson on the floor for Payson with 4 fouls. Go at him is what I would think, what you were saying earlier.
Like, especially where you come off that double screen on top and he's sitting under the paint waiting.
Beautiful Euro step there. Almost got it. Here comes Payson. Looking for Larson underneath or Mitchell on the outside.
Let's see what Payson does here.
Swayze.
How much time are they going to try to use?
That's got to be a double dribble, isn't it?
I don't think you could dribble 2 hands in your knee at this.
And there's the another layup miss. This time the offensive board and the bucket by Larson.
And the best defense Wasatch has had is stepping out of the way and leaving the rim open the last couple.
Zach Robbins drove. I think there's been several times. Yeah, Robbins doing that first drive. I think there's a couple times tonight he was surprised that he had the open layup.
I am with you there, Brett.
Missed free throw on the
rare
third
miss
point by Larson. The lead is 5.
See, post up Collin. I would go at him inside. You're going to get free throws. There you go. And he's not going to contest. You got to be more aggressive on that take. Hughes was worried about the blocker. And pulled up, floated it.
Think he'd go at Larson to get him that 5th foul.
Yes. You're going to get free throws. He's not going to try to block your shot because he doesn't want to pick that up.
Parker Buys will be at the line for Payson. Buys tonight, quiet, has a three-pointer, hit a big one in the third quarter. Misses the first free throw.
And both of his shots, the last few that I've watched, his free throw and a couple of his jumpers are very flat, kind of forced shot. I would be looking to foul him if I'm Wasatch.
Okay.
It just doesn't look as, seeing that one's different. So there's a variety in them. That's what you're looking for in a free throw shooting, is all about consistency and doing the same thing over. His shots, all 3 the last that I watched, have looked different.
Windsor with the 3, and that's going to go to
an unlucky bounce for Wasatch. Payson feeling very confident here. 6 with about a minute and a half. All you've got to do is take care of the ball here. It's a minute and 30 seconds. Wasatch is going to have to start fouling because you're 2 possessions here. So just take care of the ball is all you have to do. Let Wasatch foul you.
And there's a turnover.
And that's what you're hoping for Wasatch. Give us a freebie here. Now, if you get a 3, a good look. This is where you drop an inbound play for a 3.
You would think they're going for the 3, or you go at Larson to get him his 5th foul.
If your designed play gets you your 3, take it. If not, if it's not there, you're going to drive at the paint, get him out of the game.
There's the replay earlier. This is Ballstead with that jump back Donovan Mitchell 3-pointer.
He loves that wing, short wing off of a 1 dribble step. He's good at that.
Ballstead having only 4 points in the first half. There's another 3-pointer. That was Ballstead. Only 4 points in the first half for the senior. Now has 15 points in the game. Wasatch does have a couple players in foul trouble. Ballstead with 4, Hughes with 4. Payson only 1 player, one of the starters that we can see, and that's their big guy, Larson. That would be a big loss for them if they were to go into a tie here.
Yeah.
Payson still with the advantage at that point with 2 Wasatch players with 4 fouls. Wasatch will take the ball out. They're having a hard time getting it in.
See, I would lob it over the top to Magnuson.
Trying to get it to Anderson. He's going to shoot the three. That looks off the mark, and there's the rebound by Larson.
I would keep a note of that, though, on an inbound.
Larson, and
nice steal by Colin.
Colin Hughes sprinting down the court. He's going to go for the basket. Off the mark. Almost an offensive rebound by Paulstead. But
so
Payson takes
Colin.
over. That was key. Now there's a minute 7.
They're going to go right at it.
Mitchell driving and the foul and runs into
the. Colin helps him up. I love to see sportsmanship like that. I am surprised. A minute left, you're up. You know, a lot of coaches back out, but if it's there, attack the rim. Here he is. The big man has to step.
Sam Mitchell with that layup.
Nothing dirty there. Hard contest. Great hard take by, is that Mitchell?
Mitchell with 12 points. He will shoot 1. Payson looking at the moment like they are in control of this game. He misses the free throw. The lead is 8. There's Wonder. He's going to take the 3, and it's almost right down the mark.
And they've had a couple of good looks.
Hawk Ballstead's going to pull off, take the shot. No good.
I think they're, well.
And Payson looks like they're going to control this game. Although another turnover. And Larson.
The cardinal mistake of saving the ball under the opponent's hoop. Like he turned around, made eye contact, it looked like. And then
difficult, yeah.
Tossed him the ball and an and one.
It's hard to.
That's killer.
Hard to argue the hustle, but yeah, that's kind of the cardinal rule, like you said.
You throw it corner out or just throw it deep as you can.
Hughes called with that foul. He's out of the game. Larson misses the free throw.
Another miss. He's missed the last couple.
The lead is 10. Wasatch has 38 seconds, and they need to shoot quickly. Payson with the right type of pressure.
A little hand check call, I believe.
Wasatch now finally will shoot 1 and 1.
Yeah.
Only 30 seconds left of the game. Credit to Payson for that type of foul-free game. Yeah, here's the last play.
Away, no pass.
Very unfortunate right there. Yeah. Great hustle, but those young players out there watching right now, when the coach tells you don't save the ball under the opponent's basket, that's exactly the reason why right there.
Yep. Even if you have a guy there, it's common to bobble that, or like you're just giving too many high percentage right under the rim. Throw it out of the corner, kind of like a soccer when you clear it out of the corner. They don't have a corner kick, but you don't give them right underneath.
Wonder makes both free throws.
You can throw
the lead is 8. Double team. And the cross-court pass, not getting 20 seconds.
Yeah, they're just going to try to dribble this out.
Wasatch has to foul. And Swayze will go to the line.
I've seen crazier things, but if he misses them, and I mean, they would take a lot.
18 seconds, 8-point lead. Swayze at the line. 11 points.
Wasatch definitely has all shooters on the floor.
That is Swayze's 12th point of the game. Swayze.
And I'd say all of his points, very critical points.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
Get them started right and get them ended right.
Was kind of the scoring leader in the first half. Jackson Anderson, great drive there.
Just a little softer off the window there.
And Payson will hold the ball out, and this game will be over. 68-58 will be the final score. And chalk that up a huge victory on the road for the Payson Lions. They will go to 4-1 in the Region 8. They will go to 4-1, and Wasatch will go to 4-2. Seeing some of these replays.
Some of those great shots, great looks by Payson there.
We'll talk for a couple minutes here, watching some of these other replays. Great job to everybody in the booth here and all our camera people doing a great job. Ballstead, Wonder, and Anderson, of course, keeping them in the game. some great play off the bench by players. And
Hawk, I believe, led with points tonight. Maybe Jackson. But I would like to see Hawk a little bit more consistent throughout the game. I totally anticipated him coming in the fourth because he's such a competitor.
Right.
And he knows, like, this is it, his senior year, and he's making the most. But I'd like to see that entire game from him, It's a fine balance, keeping your teammates involved and keeping them.
You mentioned how Ball State came out. He was the first scorer for Wasatch, I believe, with the three-pointer.
Yeah.
And
then he kind of was quiet for a while. Couple
still
free throws.
Played tough. Great hustler.
It wasn't until the fourth that he really turned it on and got those buckets. But Payson, great-looking team. Like I said, that was my first time getting my eyes on them this year, and great-looking ball team. Play well together, and they've got all the tools inside and out. The team defense is very strong. They play well together. That's a fun team to watch, and I could see them doing some damage in the postseason.
For sure, yeah. Yeah, they have come in teams, and like you mentioned already, the Region 8, nobody's completely dominant. But I would have to say Payson so far is the toughest team I've seen come through the nest here.
Yep.
Looking up ahead, down the road just a little bit, Wasatch next week will go to Salem Hills on Tuesday the 26th, and then they will be at home again next Friday night, hosting Provo.
Yep.
Payson, almost the opposite. They play Provo on Tuesday at Provo, and then they are at home against Salem. So both teams still very much in the hunt for a region title, I'd have to say.
Yeah, it's way too early to tell in this region, especially with these two teams. I mean, if Wasatch can go on the road and knock off, and keep it even at this point, they can steal a win there in Payson. They've shown that they can play with them.
Looking at some of these replays, there's the drop back three again by Ballstead. Yeah, I agree with you. Both of these teams. There's another step back three that time. I think that was Anderson, or was that?
Yeah, that was Jackson, I believe. And Payson was baiting them into that shot. They're playing off the shooter a little bit, and as long as those shots are hitting, it's that live and die by, right? They're in the game. They're playing well that way, but I think the success comes from attacking the big man, attacking the paint, and then getting those shots.
Wasatch very much still, as we mentioned, in the run for the region title. Springville, before the night started, 2-0 at the top. Wasatch was in second, 4-1. Maple 3-1. Payson 3-1. I would imagine Wasatch is only going to drop to, the third place, maybe the fourth place. So they're going to stay up in that upper group. Again, you mentioned
and right now they've got the tiebreaker with Maple Mountain.
Yes.
Depending on what else played out with the region tonight, but.
Yeah, depending, and we're just looking for some of those scores. I just did a refresh to see if we can see. I haven't seen anything yet. You talked earlier about the RPI, and the state right now looking like, as you mentioned, Wasatch or Region 8, not necessarily up a lot in the big part of the rankings of the state. I'll pull those up here in a second. But I believe still these tough games against each other are going to be decent for the RPI. Explain to people about that, how that RPI works.
I think it's a good move for Utah because you would get loaded regions with tons of talent, and unfortunately you'd have a down region that just nobody was any good, but they're guaranteed a couple spots in the state. And so you had good teams staying home, and then you had some mediocre teams going. And so I like the movement. There's still some things I think that they need to tweak. And I think they need to look to tweak it for sports, individual sports even, not across the board. But it's based off of win and loss records. But your preseason is huge in that. And then it's the strength of that schedule, the win-loss of your opponents as well as your win-loss and then your opponent's opponents. So it's important to play good teams that are going to have good records. And that's what Ballstead tries to do here at Wasatch. He goes out in the preseason and plays as hard a teams as he can get so that knowing even if we lose,
even a loss
it's
gets
going to
them
look
some,
better than a win over a 0-12 team. You know,
right,
you can win against a poor team and still drop in the RPI.
right, okay,
So, and that's where this region. I mean, you look at their win loss overall, and our region's like 500.
right,
You know, Wasatch, Maple Mountain, Payson. You're looking at 500 teams.
yes, because up to now they're only ranking on the overall record. The actual rankings RPIs are not out yet. Seems like those typically come out by mid-season though, don't they?
Yes.
So we may be seeing those in the next week or so. We'll check on that. But right now, as far as rankings go, it's an unofficial state ranking, not the RPI. But as you mentioned, none of the Region 8 teams really in the top 10. But that could change. That could change for sure once
Yeah.
those RPIs come out.
And you look at some of the teams that Wasatch has played, Olympus and Timpview,
Right.
Woods Cross.
Really good records.
Some of these top teams that have really good records. And so they're pulling you up with their success.
Right. Well, that just about wraps it up here for us. All the crew is watching, waiting for Mr. Lang and Mr. Martindale to quit talking so everybody can go home.
I'm delaying so that they have it all packed up and ready to go. When
Well,
we'll be here next Tuesday, though, with the girls.
That's right,
Salem
the girls,
Hills.
Salem Hills. On behalf of everyone here at Sting TV, we want to thank you all for joining us. Once again, the final score here tonight, Payson 68, Wasatch 58. And we will see you next time here on Sting TV.